And if you don't like soup and you don't like rolls...
Listen, a roll's a roll.
What?
A toll's a toll. If we don't get no tolls, we don't eat no rolls.
Bars.
Oh, what is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another TV Talk episode. Today we're talking about episode 4 of The Last of Us. Please hold my hand.
Please hold to my hand.
Thank you, Tyler. I thought it was on the HBO app. When I opened it up, the HBO Max app, the title of the episode was "Please Hold to My Hand." I was like, that can't be right.
It's on there. It gotta be right.
I don't know.
Was it the name of the song in the?
I took the liberty of correcting it.
It's on IMDb as well.
Okay, well
you
then...
keep trying to let go. I'm not letting go.
All right, well, Tyler's not letting go of my hand, and that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna let go now because I'm trying to find this thing. I can't find it.
After a very emotional episode in 3,
And 2 and 1.
and 2, I mean, to be fair, the whole thing is just like a big emotional roller coaster. Like we get a little bit of a break, I think. There's emotions in different ways, but it definitely feels more like a little bit of a mid-season reset for like, okay, now we're back on like the road and we're going to do the thing.
We're gonna do the thing.
We're really far away from Boston is what I was the vibes I was getting. But what did you guys think overall of the episode? That good, huh?
I'm speechless. No, it's just it's every week. I'm so mad that I have to wait for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. The acting is so good. The places where they stay true to the game are done so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the places where they do divert a little bit or a lot, like last week, is also done so well. Hasn't made me mad yet.
That's good.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Because I care a lot about it.
I was gonna say, like, that's definitely one of those tightropes that you walk with. You know, telling a story, the same story in a different medium.
And I mean, Druckmann is doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like he doesn't really want to mess it up.
Right.
So I'm not really worried about that. But I mean, that thought is always there because it's something you really hear about when a book is being made into a movie or TV show or something. You're like, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Are they going to do this? And so far, I think they've just done an awesome job of putting the things in there that they need to.
Yeah.
It's just done so well by everybody on every part, I think.
Yeah. Tyler?
I would echo everything that Luke just said. I loved this episode for the reasons of getting to watch Joel's heart soften a little bit, which has just been really fun to watch. And Pedro Pascal has done such a good job of portraying that. Also, they brought my favorite thing from the game into the show, which is the pun book. I absolutely love the pun book.
So the pun book is in the game.
Oh, yeah, it's in the game.
Awesome.
Yep.
And it's one of my favorite things. So it was so cool when, like, I was sitting there watching and, you know, she goes over to grab out of her pack. And I was like, oh, no way is she going to pull this thing out. and she does. And I was just like, man, I'm so glad that made it into the show because it could be, I could see how it could be seen by some as something so inconsequential and unnecessary. But it really, they do a good job of using it to get Joel to lighten up a little bit and enjoy the ride. And it's so well done. So I echo everything Luke says. I'd add in the joke. The pun book is probably one of my favorite additions. But that being said, I think this is probably, in my opinion, the weakest episode so far.
Okay.
But I don't mean, like, weak in this regard is not like, it's not good. Weak is like, like episodes 1, 2, and 3 does a lot more than what I felt like this episode did.
Sure.
This episode felt more like, hey, we're just getting you ready for next week.
Yes.
More so than this episode is really, really pushing things like the last 3 did.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's really good. I loved it. I love the change from Pittsburgh to Kansas City. I think, like Luke said, everything they keep in from the game, I think works extremely well. Even in Kansas City, it doesn't matter what city you're in, you can do those things. So it was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah,
sweet.
I would kind of agree with you, but to me, the episode felt less move the story and more move the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
a
very
big development for character.
It's very character development heavy. Yeah.
Which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
It also felt like 2 of the 4 episodes we've gotten so far have been like pushing an hour and a half, and so it felt lean.
Oh, it felt so short.
Which I think is okay, but I just wasn't used to it.
It jarred me when it ended.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh, the episode's over.
It's like, oh, okay, so we're making this is a 2,
It's a 2-parter.
It's a 2-parter,
absolutely.
which is great.
I think I'm like wondering the process of like, where do we split each episode?
Yeah.
It's like with where the episode ends with Henry and Sam popping up. It's like, okay, yeah, then we can have an episode dedicated to them.
Yeah, it's a good break.
Because I don't know really where maybe if they do the bridge jump,
right?
I don't know where you would split it at. So it's like, okay, this is where the story kind of stops with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You gotta bring people in for next week.
It's just a moment to say this is a clean starting spot for next week. Yeah, they do a good job of that.
Yeah, in terms of some of those other things that happened in the episode, Easton over in the chat talked about he really thought that Joel and Ellie dealing with the kill was really good, and I would agree with that.
We'll get into that.
I think that's both of these characters are very. It's easy for them to close themselves off, right? Like they, by definition of their characters, it's hard to get a read on them sometimes, which is why I think in episode 3, where it's like, okay, we're gonna explore these characters through a lens of another set of characters, I thought it was really interesting because it offered us a glimpse into specifically Joel. But here we get to see Ellie, deal with shooting someone in the back and paralyzing them and like not being able to finish the job. And not that she again should have. I think Joel, how he handled that was pretty messed up. At the same time, it's
behind the wall.
It's a messed up situation, right? Like, I don't know. I thought it was really well done.
I loved that scene, and Dana. I would give Dana a lot of credit here. Dana was like, I like what Joel does because it makes Ellie live with what she did. It doesn't give her. She doesn't get to see how it ends.
Yeah.
She realizes the damage she's done. And now she has to go live with that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But what we see is Ellie just kind of compartmentalizes it and moves on really quickly.
Yeah.
Which is Joel.
And it makes sense a little later. She talks about how that wasn't necessarily her first time, but at the same time, it's still dramatic. It's still traumatic.
Yeah.
And he even says so at the end of the episode, like, does it get easier? Not really.
Yeah.
So, Luke, thoughts on that scene?
It was good. Sorry, I'm just processing what you guys are saying. I think the hard part with it too is I'm not sure if the first time there was a kid around the corner begging for his mom.
Right.
So that probably has something to do with it too.
Yep.
But yeah, that scene was great. She just wipes the tear away and she's like, "It's
time to go.
Time to go."
Just shows you how much of a product of the world they're in.
Yeah.
She is.
I also think that this episode does a pretty good job of setting up who the antagonists in Kansas City are.
Yeah. Which is new.
It's new. Oh, from the games, you mean?
Yeah. Kathleen specifically, that character is not in the game.
Yeah. Are there still kind of some like insurgents who overthrew Fedra that aren't the Fireflies?
You guys with like masks and helmets on?
They're just like opposition. They don't really have anything.
Something to do in the game.
There's somebody to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like they're not really anybody. The truck's there. The truck freaking sucks. But like, no, they're just faceless dudes that you're killing.
Yeah.
In the game, they're bad guys.
I liked Kathleen. It was kind of the first time we get to see a motivation behind an antagonist here in the series. The what are they called? The zombies.
Cordyceps.
The cordyceps. The cordyceps are certainly threatening and villainous, but they don't have motivation like humans do, right? Fedra, they're mostly faceless right now. And so, just getting to see her, even though we don't really understand her motivations as of yet, other than, maybe just holding what little either power or the people together that she can. We get to see a little bit of her ruthlessness and her interrogation of the doctor, her bossing around everyone and deciding to keep something secret that's happening in a warehouse of some kind. Ugh.
That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun.
I think that up against the good character development that we have for Joel and Ellie, that softening of Joel, almost the hardening or coming out of the shell of Ellie a little bit. It's not. I think she's already pretty hard. Just the nature of life in the apocalypse, but
yeah. You don't live long in the apocalypse if you're a softie. So.
Yeah.
No, it's a great character work episode. I would agree with that. I'm ready for next week from a let's watch it standpoint, and it comes on Friday this go round.
Yes,
which is cool because of the Super Bowl. So thank you, football.
Football.
We get our episode just a little bit sooner.
No, that sucks though, because then you have to wait 9 days for
that
the
does
next
suck.
one.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way.
But I rewatched the episode from last week before it, so probably do that again.
I'll rewatch the whole series.
I'll pace out my viewing or my listening of the podcast.
There you go.
Instead of listening to it like right away, I'll save that till
I will
like Wednesday.
I will say now, I am not prepared for next week.
I don't know what to expect.
Good.
Got me on the edge of my seat.
Good.
Oh.
I saw an article from comicbook.com today that was like, fans of the game are dreading next week's episode. And I was like,
are they just going to reprint that each week? Just change
maybe.
the date on it?
This one's pretty big, though. This one's pretty tough. I mean, they all are, but this one especially stands out.
I think overall, Tyler, I kind of agree with your assessment that it's maybe the weakest episode thus far. But that said, it's still high bar.
I was gonna say,
still really, really good.
It's not like it's down in the basement.
No.
It's still really high quality television.
The weak episode comment is totally like clickbaity and
it's that, and it's just like,
but
hey,
it is.
Where do I rank this episode? Right? Like,
is that what you're putting in the YouTube description? Worst episode yet?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we should. Is episode 4 the
and have all of us
the
like
end of The Last of Us?
Red arrows everywhere on the thumbnail.
Yeah. We're due for one of those anyway.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But yeah.
We haven't gotten any death threats recently. Let's turn it up to 11 here.
Put it out and we'll see how many people actually don't watch the video, and we'll probably get one extremely long book comment like our Witcher review.
We need to go back and do a Witcher review so we can get yelled at some more. That's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, good. I think that wraps it up for episode 4. Unless you guys have any last thoughts.
No, it's a good show. It's great show.
The music guy was different this week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Music sounded exactly the same, but that popped up in the credits, and I was like, what?
How dare you? You go get Gustavo right now.
The man was busy, okay?